Anthropic just built the most dangerous AI they have ever made, and they are refusing to let you have it. In the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly what Claude Mythos Preview can do, why Anthropic triggered their own ASL4 kill switch for the first time in the history, and what happens when a competitor inevitably ships the same capability without any safety gate. This is the first time a major AI lab has completed a frontier model and voluntarily refused to release it. Not delayed, not gated, they refused. That's either the most important safety movement of 2026 or the biggest PR play in AI history. And the answer changes what happened to your browser, your OS, your entire software stack over the next few months. I'm Dr. Arpit. I hold a PhD in machine learning and I run machine learning consultancy called A2.ai. I have spent the last decade shipping AI into production, including TikTok and many Hollywood movies. So when Anthropic CEO says a model is too dangerous to release, that's not a word he uses lightly. On April 7, Anthropic published a post on red.anthropic.com with a title that should have been the top story on every tech site for a week, and somehow that wasn't a scene. They announced Claude Mythos Preview, their most powerful model ever, and in the same sentence they said, "We are not shipping this." By the end of this video, you'll understand three things: what Mythos can actually do, what ASL4 means in Anthropic's responsible scaling policy, and my honest take. Is this genuine self-restraint or the most calculated safety PR move in the last decade of AI? During red team evaluations, Anthropic pointed Mythos at the software the entire internet runs on, and Mythos found real exploitable zero-day vulnerabilities autonomously. We're not talking about rediscovering known bugs, we are talking about brand new, never seen before vulnerabilities in every major operating system, every major web browser. And the oldest one Mythos found, it had been sitting in OpenBSD for 27 years. 27 years. 27. It also surfaced a 16-year-old vulnerability in H.264, the video codec in FFmpeg, which means it's in practically every video player, every browser, every video conferencing tool that we have used since 2010. These aren't theoretical findings in a sandbox, they are real, and they are patched now, which is the only reason Anthropic can talk about them. And they were discovered by a single model running autonomously in weeks. To put that in a scale, that's kind of a discovery a nation-state offensive cyber team might produce in a year with dozens of researchers. Mythos did it alone. So Mythos can find 0 days humans missed for a quarter century. Now, here's why Anthropic freaked out and why they have built a safety policy specifically designed to catch a movement like this. Anthropic has something called the responsible scaling policy. It's their internal framework for what AI capabilities are safe to ship. It has 5 levels. So we have ASL1 is what nobody worries about, like basic chatbots. Then we have ASL2 is where most frontier models sit today, like Claude Opus, GPT-4 class, and all the similar models. Then we have ASL3 is where when you start adding mandatory security reviews because the model could meaningfully uplift someone's bioweapon or cyber weapon research. And then we have ASL4 is where the model can do that kind of harm autonomously without a human expert in the loop. And then we have ASL5, which is kind of an existential risk territory. Mythos triggered ASL4. That's not a press release. That's Anthropic's own internal threshold saying this thing can cause catastrophic harm on its own, and we don't have the mitigations ready yet to ship it. Here's what makes this historic. Every lab has a safety policy. OpenAI has one, Google DeepMind has one, Meta has one, or at least a version of one of these. But until April 7th, none of them had ever actually tripped their own kill switch on a completed frontier model and said no. For 4 years, AI labs have been asked what happens if one of you builds something truly dangerous. Will you ship it anyway? April 7th is the first time we have a real answer from a real lab on a real model. Okay, they're not shipping it, but they're also not deleting it. So what they are doing with it? So what's this Project Glasswing thing I keep seeing in the announcement? Before I get into Glasswing, if you are finding this useful, please subscribe. I'm Dr. Arpit. I post an honest AI breakdown like this every week. I'm showing you how to replace cursor with a 100% local agent on your own forever. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Anthropic didn't just withhold Mythos, they flipped it. Project Glasswing is a coalition Anthropic built today. They announced the withholding. AWS, Apple, Cisco, CrowdStrike, Google, JP Morgan Chase, the Linux Foundation, Microsoft, Nvidia, Palo Alto Networks, 10 of most security-sensitive organizations on Earth, all given limited control access to Mythos. And Anthropic is paying for it. They committed $100 million in Mythos usage credit to all these together. Not to build cool products, to do one thing. Point Mythos at the critical software infrastructure the world runs on. Find bugs, find vulnerabilities before someone else Mythos does and patch them. Think about what Anthropic is actually saying here. They are saying we built a cyber weapon class AI. We cannot prevent the rest of the industry from building the same thing within the next 6 to 12 months. So instead of releasing ours, we are going to raise the industry by hardening the world's defenses using our own model. Before Google or OpenAI or DeepSeek or some state actor ships theirs and runs it offensively. That is either the most responsible thing a frontier lab has ever done, or it's a brilliant PR narrative. It also happens to lock in distribution with the 10 most important enterprise buyers in the software. Possibly both, which brings me to my honesty, because this is the part where the most AI commentary channels just repeat Anthropic's press release. I'm not going to do that. If you only watch 1 more minute of this video, make it this one, because this is the part the rest of the internet is getting wrong. Here's what I actually think is happening. 3 things in order. The first one, the capability is real. I have read the Red Team report. The OpenBSD bug is real. The H.264 vulnerability is real. This is not a staged demo. Second, Anthropic withholding Mythos does not stop offensive autonomous cyber capability from existing in the world. Other labs will cross this line within 12 months or maybe sooner, because the techniques that got Anthropic here are documented in the published research. Withholding Mythos buys defenders time. It doesn't stop the clock. Third, Project Glasswing is genuinely safety work and a masterstroke of commercial positioning. JP Morgan will never use a competitor's cyber AI after working with Mythos inside Glasswing. Neither will Microsoft, neither will Apple. Anthropic just used a safety decision to lock in the 10 most important enterprise security buyers on Earth. None of those 3 things contradict each other. Good safety and good business can coexist. The thing I'd want to know, and you should want to know as well, is what happens in September when the next lab announces their autonomous vulnerability discovery model without a Glasswing, without an ASL4 gate, and without Dario Amadi holding the kill switch. So Mythos is withheld, Glasswing is running. The clock is ticking on the rest of the industry. Here's what it means for you specifically over the next 6 months. If you are a developer, patch aggressively. The vulnerabilities Glasswing uncovers with roll into upstream fixes over the next 3 to 6 months. Keep your systems current seriously. If you are a business owner or CTO, update your threat model. The assumption that our software stack is probably fine because it's been running for years just broke. Decades old code is decades old attack surface. If you are just watching AI, this is the moment to track which lab crosses ASL4 next. Watch for the announcement that doesn't withhold. That's the real story of 2026. Is this was useful? Subscribe and hit notification bell. I break down AI news and actual ML background, not just vibe. every week. Go watch this next. It's my breakdown of Meta's Muse Spark from last week, and it's perfectly paired with Mythos.